Hello there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a movie review of one of my all-time favorite movies, Chariots of the Gods. When I was in grade school, I read a book called Chariots of the Gods, and I had no idea they'd actually made a documentary about it. This movie came out in 1970. It is a documentary. The plot is this is based on the book Chariots of the Gods by Eric von Daniken. And it's basically, he traveled the world exploring and documenting ancient mysteries, things that nobody really could explain, that raised a lot of questions that didn't fit the archaeological, anthropological, and historical narrative. And he started raising these questions, and people say that they've debunked him, but that's a hell of a lot of debunking. I mean, if you've seen the TV series Ancient Aliens, that's what this was based on. He started the whole ancient alien phenomenon, as it were. This is the book that did it. This is the man that did it, Eric von Daniken. These ancient mysteries include the pyramids of Egypt and Mexico, ancient cave drawings, monuments of Easter Island, and a lot of the ancient Hindu texts, which actually speak of airships having combat, destroying cities, that kind of thing. Those books were written 6,000 to 10,000 years ago, in that range. Okay, they're called Vimanas, the airships. I think I talked about them in one of my videos. His theory is that extraterrestrial visitations influenced primitive man. And that's the reason you have all this. And he makes a really great analogy on the South Pacific Islands after World War II. People went back a few years later, and the locals who had seen the airfields built with, airplanes and stuff, they had seen it. These are primitive people, not much more than cavemen. And they had created wicker and straw totems that looked like airplanes, and they were worshiping them. It's the same basic concept here. See, primitive man saw, according to Eric von Daniken's theory, primitive man saw these extraterrestrial vehicles and cataloged them. They became part of the lore, as it were. Again, this was the basis for the entire Ancient Alien phenomena, including the TV series. If you enjoy Ancient Aliens, the TV series, this is where it came from. You'll like this movie. The cast, most of it is narrated. There's 3 actual people in it, but I'm going to do the narrators first. They had some European and other narrators, and then they had some that narrated in English. I'm going to do the European ones first. Heinz Detlev Bach, Klaus Kindler, Christian Marshall. And then the English narrators were Bruce Johansson, Jean Fontaine, and Lee Pajan, P-A-J-A-N, Pajan. The 3 people that really starred in this that you see on video are Alexander Kazantsev from Moscow, Vladislav Saitsew, S-A-I-T-S-E-W, Saitsew, Minsk, and Eric von Daniken himself. I heard a story about Eric von Daniken. I'd kind of like to relate that. It is my understanding. He was in a Catholic school, a religious school. I want to say it was Catholic. And he was reading in the Bible, and he kept reading about things that didn't make sense. And he was asking questions. Why does God need devices? If God can do everything, why does God need this? Why does God need that? So he took a break from this religious school, and he went around the world, and he's searching through ancient texts and stuff. And this is where he started forming his theories. His idea is that extraterrestrials visited years ago, and they're recorded in our ancient texts. For example, the Mahabharata. That's where you get the ancient Hindu Vimana. That's and I'm going to list that as one of the standout points. But what I'm getting at is he saw something that didn't make sense in historical writings, religious texts, and he went around and he found other things in other religions around the world that were very similar, but didn't make sense. So that's where you get the basis for this ancient alien theory. I did 3 standout, and usually with these videos I try to do standouts, and usually I do actors, but there's not a hell of a lot of actors in here, so I'm doing standout points that they made. The first one is the ancient Hindu the Vimana from the Mahabharata. I'm murdering this, I apologize. They're called Vimanas. They're from the ancient Hindu text, the Mahabharata. Then there's the cave drawings of gray aliens, and you see them virtually all over the world. And these are thousands of years old. In the Bible, Ezekiel saw the wheel. And that there's a lot of questions about that people have, and I don't know. I believe in God, but I also believe in man's fallibility. It's possible he saw something that he couldn't understand and he equated it to God, our God. But it wasn't. It was some of these extraterrestrials. So he may have stuck that in there. I don't know. The Bible was dictated to man by God. But maybe man stuck something else in there. I don't know. My contention is that there are things in this world we don't understand, and it is, galactically speaking, our solar system is very new compared to a lot of the others. If there's life out there, chances are they're older than ours. If there's an alien civilization out there on one of these very old star systems, chances are they're older than us, so they could have been out and about a long time ago, with their spaceships flying around. So, and I gotta remind you, a couple of years ago, the U.S. Navy announced that they had actual photos and videos of real UFOs that their pilots caught off the carrier Nimitz. And I want to say it was last year, and I want to say it was in August, the Pentagon announced that they had recovered craft not of this world, that weren't constructed on this world. I think they said something along those lines. So when you're talking about ancient aliens, there's a lot of stuff to cover there. If you get the chance, check out the TV series Ancient Aliens. It's quite good. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.